Talk about this awesome problem where we're going to talk about concavity of the function based on its formula. Now remember, concavity in this instance is going to be something that we think about as coming from f double prime of x. So we need to find our first derivative f prime of x. That gives us negative 4x cubed minus 18x squared plus 8. And then we need to use that to find our second derivative, which will be negative 12x squared minus 36x. We're going to do the sign chart process. Part of the sign chart process is that we really want to find where f double prime of x is equal to 0. That's our first step. So I have negative 12x squared minus 36x equal to 0. I can factor out a negative 12x times x plus 3 equals 0. And this splits up as negative 12x equals 0 and x plus 3 equals 0, which gives me the solutions x equals 0 and x equals negative 3. That tells me where I need to set up the dividing points on my sign chart. So I'm going to have 1 at negative 3, and I'm going to have 1 at 0. And when I go to test points, I need to test something from each of these three regions. So I think for negative infinity to negative 3, I will test f double prime. Remember, it's the second derivative. I'll test f double prime of negative 10. And it's going to be helpful to me actually to use this factored form. That makes it so easy to see whether the answer is positive or negative. So I have negative 12 times negative 10 times x plus, I should be plugging in a 10 for that, negative 10 for that. That's negative 10 plus 3. So what I have here is negative times negative times negative. That's going to be a negative number. I don't actually have to come up with the actual number. And that's something that's nice about doing this process this way. So f double prime of x on this particular region is negative. I do the same thing but with the other test points. So for my test point from the region negative 3 to 0, I can test whatever I want. So I'm going to test f double prime of negative 1. That's going to give me negative 12 times negative 1 times negative 1 plus 3. Now notice, I'm going to look at what the signs are here. This is a negative number. This is a negative number. This is a positive number. Negative times negative is positive times positive is positive. So I'm going to be seeing that the second derivative in this region is positive. Finally, for the region 0 to infinity, I can test whatever I want to. So I'm going to test x equals 10. So f double prime of 10 is negative 12 times 10 times 10 plus 3. It's going to be negative times positive, which is going to be negative. So on my sign chart, I record that information that this is negative. So I have my information about f double prime right there. What that tells me about if f double prime is negative, that means f of x is concave down. If f double prime is positive, that means f is concave up. And if f double prime is negative, that means f is concave down. So the conclusion that I would draw from this process is that f of x is concave down on negative infinity to negative 3 and 0 to infinity, and f of x is concave up on 0 to 3. All right, I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know.